All right, we have arrived at session three, and session three is going to give us some time to look at cultural diversity within the United States. So remember, diversity, that one word, has its many definitions and many meanings to many people, but when we talk about cultural diversity, we talk about those cultural and ethnic differences or tags or titles or labels. And so for this session, we are specifically looking at that within the United States. To begin session three, you are going to read pages 1 through 13 of chapter 1. So not the whole chapter, just the first 13 pages. And if you have taken a moment to look at the textbook, you should see that this is some pretty easy reading. Large pages, font's pretty large considering it's a textbook, lots of graphs and pictures and those sorts of things. So just page 1 through 13, stopping at the bottom of 13. And I want to highlight for you, there is a portion, it's a little section that's broken out on page 8, and the title is Profile in Diversity Consciousness. And it talks about a person who was raised in a family of multiple racial descents and how she felt as she was being raised. And so I just want to highlight those little snippets that you see in the text. Reading that really just kind of opens your eyes to the struggles and the thoughts and the emotions that people experience with multiple labels, and I put that in quotation because we are talking about labels as far as the census goes in our activity this week, and you'll see some of that discussed in your reading because it does talk about the diverse makeup of the U.S. population and how we get that information through the census. So just a reminder to say don't skip any of the sections while you're reading because they are very eye-opening and engaging to think about from someone else's perspective, which makes our diversity consciousness greater when we think about other people's perspectives. Okay, so you will read pages 1 through 13. So there is an assignment that will go along with that reading, and we're going to call those reading notes in our course this semester. And when you get to the reading notes section, I'm going to spend a few moments walking you through here. So this is going to be one of those Google Docs that you make a copy of. You've done that every session, so you should be good to go. But this is a little bit different because we have not done this style of assignment yet. So what you see here is a template for Cornell Notes. Cornell Notes are something that is pretty common, especially taught in high schools. And so if you have been in high school recently, this might look familiar to you. If not, you're totally fine. You'll catch on in just a moment. All right, so for starters, it is a requirement that you paste a photo of yourself here. I love to see faces when I'm grading. That way I don't feel like you're a robot and you don't feel like I'm a robot. However, you are allowed to choose whatever photo of yourself that you want. It can be the same basic photo every single week, or you can update me with what's going on in your life with those photos. I tell my students I've had lots of cool photos. I've had a lot of family vacation photos. I even had a student flying an airplane. In one of the photos, she took a selfie. So it was really cool. But you'll paste a photo of yourself there. And then as you look, there are two main columns here. And I'm changing this as I'm going. But anyway, there is a left-hand column, okay? And this is where questions and main ideas go, but I have put that information there for you. So you will never type in this left-hand column. You will always type in the right-hand column under the notes section. And I've always started this as a template for you, so I have written here for you in bright red font. Your notes go here in colored font. So what you will do as you read is you will see these vocabulary terms that you are coming across, and you will see different sections sort of highlighted there on the left. So on page 2 of your reading for chapter 1, there is a bold word diversity, there's a bold word culture, there's a bold word cultural landscape. So what you will do is you will read that section, and then you will take some notes on that in this right hand column, the notes column. You are welcome to do this in bullet point format if that is easier for you. But I just want to remind you, this is a 100-point assignment. So this note-taking process should look like you have earned 100 points, not something that you've just jotted in a few words for. So yes, you can copy down the definition from the book, but you can also add other items in there that you've gathered from the book or that jump out to you on a personal level. Okay, so those are certain definitions. And then I would expect you to expand and explore your particular thought process on those vocabulary words. And then at the bottom of every set of Cornell notes, there's a summary section. And so instead of just asking you to summarize, what I've done is I've asked some specific reflection questions. And so you will answer those in paragraph form. And that sort of summarizes and finishes up your thoughts as you did the reading. All right, when you're done with that, you're going to submit that. So, of course, down here in this part of the screen will be your submission box. So make sure you do that. And if you are still unsure about the submissions, shoot me an email and I can verify it for you. All right, the next assignment that we are going to focus on in session 3 is mapping the 2020 census. So that is also a templated activity. I try to do that as much for you as I can to make it easier on you. But you are going to see here the directions. I have gone through these directions. If you will just take a few moments and read each direction and do what it says, you will be great on the grading end of this 100-point assignment. I have links here for you and a quick tips guide for using the 2020 census. So this is an assignment that a lot of students say, I've never done anything like this before. So if you've never had an opportunity to look at the U.S. Census Bureau data, it is fascinating. It's really neat to look at your area compared to other areas and look at the amount of people that live places and their demographics attached to them. All right, and so you will just scroll right through here. You're going to look at these population changes as well, and then just take a deep dive in your area. I'm going to ask you to talk to me about the locations that you looked at, and so this is in bulleted format here. So like if you look at Nash County, that's fine. If you look at Wake County, maybe there's another location that you've lived in the past that you are going to look at. So you're going to list all the areas that you looked at. All right, you got grandma lives in another county or another state. Look at grandma's area too. So pursue multiple locations. All right. The demographics part is asking you what types of demographic information did you discover. So you will list that there. Again, all of this information can be listed in bullet points. Just make sure that you are thorough. Then we're going to talk about the changes. So there's in the directions, it'll walk you through how to look at the population changes, and you'll address that as well. And then just a reflection, and I've got multiple reflection questions here to kind of get you going. But what are some things that you notice? What are some things that you are thinking about now that you've done this activity? Maybe things that you uncovered that were surprising to you. So once you finish typing there, you'll drop that in the submission box, which will be on the bottom of this screen. Of course, mine is not there because I am in instructor view. Okay, And then that's it. That's all for session 3. So you're going to do the chapter 1 portion of chapter 1 reading, and you will complete those reading notes either while you are reading or once you are done. And then you will explore the 2020 Census Bureau data and complete that assignment. All right, that is it. I hope that you enjoy exploring that census data. And as always, I'm just an email away.